Hello. So once again, another random and spontaneous video. Talking about this. This that seems to be happening. If you are blessed with the 5 senses, then there does seem to be seeing happening. Colours, shapes, movement. There does seem to be sounds appearing in this. There seems to be a sense of smell, tastes, even if you're not eating or drinking, there's the taste of the inside of your mouth. And then the sense of touch. That's what seems to be happening. There does also seem to be feelings that appear in this. Like sensations. Now, them feelings can be labelled, and it is only a label or a belief. They can be labelled as good or bad. This doesn't have any labels for the feelings. There's nothing good or bad. The seeing isn't good or bad. The sounds aren't good or bad. The tastes are not good or bad, or the smells, or the feelings. And I've not even come on to thoughts yet. Whatever seems to be happening is as it is. It's not good or bad. It just is as it is. It just is as it is. So, what also seems to appear in this are thoughts. And the thoughts are not good or bad. This that's here has no conditions. what seems to happen in the majority of humans is that this pretends to be a character. It's an illusion. There is no you. There is no me character. That's just a belief in a thought. Just like time is a belief in a thought. Just like religion is a belief in a thought. Just like labeling a feeling, anxiety or depression, is a belief in a thought. So going back to what I said earlier, what seems to be happening, I do say it's like more of a sensory experience. But none of it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. That's the illusion. So if there's a seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, where are you in all of this? If you've watched my previous videos, I do like to use the words timeless immediacy quite frequently. I just like that word. It's just a play of words. But there's no time here. That's just a thought construct, a belief in a thought. And this is immediate. It's always here. It's never not here. Intimately, always here. Not here as in a location, it just is. I know it can be hard for you to accept this message. Why wouldn't it be? So there's an illusion that you're inside that body. So this that's here, it just is as it is. And then there's a belief that you have. It's only a belief in a thought. You believe in the thought that you exist. And that belief is that you're housed inside this skin suit, inside this body, and you feel like you're looking through the eyes at an external world, and that there's an over there. So there's a you here and there's an over there. That's an illusion. It's so incredible how this can pull off the illusion of imagination, distance, time, and it can feel so real that you and they exist. But in direct seeing, there's no teaching here or advice on offer. I'm just talking, what seems to have happened here. And there's no way to communicate this without it being dualistic. There's no way to communicate this without it coming across as if there is a self here. That's just the way language and words are, dualistically. But for whatever reason, and it may have happened to you, or you may be seeking to have a clear seeing of what's being shared here. But the illusion can be seen through. It can be seen by no one that there is nobody here. And it's not an achievement. It's not enlightenment. To be honest, it's just the ordinariness of what is, because it's already the case. The illusion is that you exist inside the body and that other selves exist inside other bodies. It's all an imagined story. It's a hell of a trick that this seems to play. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a game. That wholeness, oneness, this unknown existence, whatever this is, it hasn't got a name. Nobody knows what this is. I mean, if I was going to describe, what's kind of happened here since having a clear seeing of this, I would say it's more like this, whatever this is, this unknown existence, is just dreaming itself to be a character. To wake up to itself. Just for the fun of it. I don't know why. I don't know why. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows anything. There's nobody here. So that character that you think you are is not your character. You're not even playing the role of that character. All characters, you, your wife, your husband, your brother, sister, your children, your friends at work, your next door neighbours, all them characters are imagined. The body moves by itself. I mean, to be honest, I think that's really obvious, that one. I can see why people think they are in control of the body, because most people don't really stop to inquire or just stop. Most people just, there's no judgment here, it's not the way, but it just seems that in certainly this society where I am here in the UK, most people are on this treadmill of next. What's next? What's next? More, me. That will never end. It's an illusion. It's not actually happening, by the way. This that's here is completely still. It's at rest. There's nowhere to get to. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, I was going back to the, it's really, it's here anyway, it's really obvious that the body, there's no agency, there's no one controlling the body does its thing, there is no you, there's no homunculus, there's no little me character inside the brain with a steering wheel or levers saying lift that arm up, move that leg, blink the eyes, cough, sneeze, breathe, pump the heart. There ain't no one doing that. I mean, it's really obvious. That's the same for everybody. Your cat, your dog, birds in the sky, squirrels, trees, cars passing by, no one's driving cars, it's all happening automatically. Now, what's been noticed here, so the two things that most selves think they're in control of is the body and mind. There is no mind. That's just a made-up belief as well. And the body, I think it's quite easy. You can actually teach that the body's moving by itself. It really is obvious that all the things I've just said there. There's just no one. You're not inside. There's no one inside a human body. Just you know, that needs to be just dealt with straight away. There's no one in there. Even neuroscience has confirmed it. There's just no character. There's no me. The body is empty. But what seems to be more tricky or sticky for you or someone to accept is that they're not also in control of the thoughts. But that can be easily seen through as well. I wouldn't say easily, to be honest. Forgive me for saying that, because if somebody is completely fixated, egotistical, identified with a me character, they really feel that this is all about me. It's quite hard for that. It's quite hard for somebody to accept that they're not in control of the thoughts, you know, especially if they're into positive thinking, affirmations, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne or whatever, manifestation and all that. This appearance that's here right now, has got nothing to do with your thoughts. They're not your thoughts. So in direct seeing, in clear seeing, whatever we want to call it, it can become obvious that a thought pops up by itself. There was nobody behind that thought. It's not your thought. That's the illusion. You think afterwards. It's always, the me character is always late to the party. So the thought arises by itself. And it's totally random and spontaneous as well. You know, you could be making a peanut butter sandwich in your kitchen, and thoughts are firing left, right, and center. You know, totally random and spontaneous. Like there could be sick and twisted thoughts. There could be memories of when you was a 10-year-old girl or boy. It's got nothing to do with making the sandwich. You know, you might have selfish thoughts pop up, sexual thoughts pop up. You might have thoughts about shit that happened 15 years ago, which didn't happen 15 years ago. There is no time. There's only this timeless immediacy. So any thoughts that appear, pop up by themselves, they've got nothing to do with what's happening or what seems to be happening. And it's the belief in the content or the description of the thought that makes you feel real. The me character needs that shit. The me character wants to survive. It wants to feel alive. Even if that means suffering or drama, it needs to feel like it's here. It wants to feel real. But it's not. There's no one here. You might not want to hear this message, but you didn't choose to watch this video. Try to control what your next thought's going to be. You can't choose your thoughts, because the thought happens and then you pipe up with an acknowledgement of that thought. Late. You're always late. The me character's always late. The story. Any stories, it's just late. There's this appearance. So we're going back to the beginning of the video. It's like a sensory experience, and it's just this that seems to be appearing. But then the me character claims or layers a story on top of this. But a story needs time in order to even be a story. This doesn't have any stories. This that's here has no stories. This that's here has no characters. Where are they? Where's the stories and where's the characters? The stories and the characters can only appear as a thought. I'd go one step further. There would have to be a belief in the thought for it to even mean anything. Because, and I know it sounds harsh this, but thoughts are nothing. They're not, they're just, and it does sound bad this, because if you're, this is where people can get triggered, but So your whole life is just a belief in a thought. It's nowhere else. There isn't anywhere else. This isn't going anywhere. This can't move. I went to the supermarket this morning, came home, and it's really obvious that this hasn't moved. It's always this. So there's no traveling, there's no distance, there's no time. There's the illusion of all them things, there's the appearance of all them things in a thought-based, imaginary story that appears now in this timeless immediacy. Damn, hope that made sense anyway. Doesn't matter. So there does seem to be an illusory story that's being played. You know, at the weekend, last weekend, me and my wife, 2 kids, a 10-year-old boy, 4-year-old boy. In fact, both of the birthdays are coming up soon. So they're soon to be aged 11 and 5. My eldest is just about to go into his last year of primary school. My youngest is going to start his first year at primary school, which will be nice because they're both going to be in the same primary school for, well, 1 year at least, before my eldest then goes on to high school. So do you see what I mean? You can talk about the story. You know, there's no denial of the story here. You know, so at the weekend we went to Alton Towers again. I think I did a video back in, I think it was April or May time. But do you see what I mean? The story doesn't go away. Even though you've had a clear seeing of this, you can pull up memories, you can talk about them, you can plan, but there's nobody doing any of it. There's no one talking. There's no one listening. So yeah, we went to Alton Towers at the weekend just gone. We had a brilliant time. We went on the Friday morning. I spent the full day at Alton Towers theme park. We stayed over on the Friday evening and woke up Saturday and we did another full day at the theme park. And then we were home then sort of, I think we got back about 7 o'clock on Saturday night. And if you've watched my previous videos, you know I like to do a lot of walking, and I actually tracked how much walking we did over the days. And believe it or not, on the Friday we did 11 miles walking, and on the Saturday it was nearer to 12 miles walking, which I was amazed at, really. So yeah, the it can just be seen that there is no self and there is no other. Because, you know, okay, that character that you believe that you are, your name that's on your birth certificate or your driver's license or passport, that person can only exist as a thought. It's just an imagination. It's just an idea. Now let's say 50 people that know you. Maybe that's quite a high number. Maybe, depends how popular you are. 10, let's go for 10. So try to imagine 10 people that know you. If all them 10 people were interviewed and they were asked questions to describe you and your character and your personality, all of them will be different. And there will be some similarities, you know. I think I mentioned this on another video. You know, some people are naturally extrovert or introvert. However, that can change depending on their environment or people that they're with. So the me character that you believe you are, which one are you? Or take somebody that's close to you, your husband or your wife or your children, a close friend. How you perceive that person or how you imagine that person to be is not the same as what another person would imagine them to be. The self is just an imagined story. It's just a thought-based illusion. The bodies are empty. There's no one inside the body. It's just all a matrix, a thought matrix, an imagined story time. I hope this is making sense. Okay, it's getting a bit. It can get a bit. Don't know what the word is. Complicated. So there actually is nobody experiencing this. There's just this experiencing itself. And it can do that through the appearance of a character. So there's nobody that can find this. Because it's already this. There's nowhere to get to. You know, you can't find what is already the case. You know, if you're looking for something, where would that be? It's actually impossible to find anything. What can be quite profound, you know, if you've done quite a bit of deep thinking, or you know, that's what seems to have happened here, particularly over the last 5 or 6 years now. You know, there's been a lot of. It sounds weird, but just staring into this, just looking at this that's here, And what can be quite profound is seeing a thought for what it is. It's almost a game changer, really. I don't want to make that into a goal that you have to try and attain. It's not like that, but what I mean by this is thoughts can't actually say anything. A thought can't think. I know that you might not be able to understand that. The me character struggles to understand that because the me character is the thought. A thought is empty. It's just a movement of energy, a flicker, a movement. It's just an appearance that arises within this. It's got nothing to do with this. It has no power. It has no power over this at all. It's not even your thought. There's no time. Thoughts need time. Thoughts rely on time to become believable or to become real. I don't want to make thoughts out to be the culprit or the problem, because they're not. The thoughts are wonderful. They're really useful. But they can be a little bastard. Thoughts can't say anything. Seeing can't think. Hearing can't think. Smelling, tasting, touching can't think. Thoughts can't think. There is no thinker. It's an illusion. I suppose it's easier said than done to just say you don't have to believe the thoughts. But they really don't mean anything. That thought narrative, that chatter that seems to be, a lot of people think it's happening in the head. I would just say it's just appearing in this. So that thought narrative, it's not talking to anyone. There's nobody to actually listen to it. It's like if you're watching a movie with subtitles. If you ignore the subtitles or remove the subtitles, the movie's still going to continue. Just looking out my window, it's a proper rainy British weather day here. Believe it or not, it's still morning. What time is it? It's 11:15 in the morning. We've got the lights on. We've got black clouds over here, and the rain's coming down. And then thoughts might appear here saying, oh, I wish I was in Greece in the sunshine. There's nothing happening. Wholeness or this oneness is running the show. I mean, even that's saying too much, because we can start creating a story, an identity around that as well. You know, there is no oneness, there is no wholeness. They're just words that we're using. This is completely unknown. No one knows what this is. No one knows what's going on. Because there's nothing going on. Nobody needs to know anything. I would say that's where the freedom and the liberation is. In the not knowing. Every time I hear that, I think of Tim Kliss. I think he used to say the freedom is in the not knowing, or something like that. Because how could you know this? Loads of people will claim to know what this is. All them stories, all them Bibles, all them spiritual gurus. All stories and all books, all knowledge. It is actually useless beliefs. I don't want to say it's nonsense, because it's interesting. You know, if somebody's got an interest in ancient history, or you know, even studies religions and esoteric stuff, and you know, conspiracy theories, it's just what's happening. It doesn't mean anything to this. You know, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know I've been a seeker for decades, or was a seeker. I don't want to take on a new identity by saying this, but I would say I'm not a seeker now. And what's happened here from all that seeking, because it is really quite tiring and exhausting, time consuming. There's a lot of effort that goes into being a seeker. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing right with it. It's completely futile. But if it exhausts itself, then it's kind of done its job, if that makes sense. But what happened here, there was a period of flatness, emptiness, because all that effort and time into seeking is gone. It's collapsed. Again, this is just a story appearing now in this. By the way, there's only ever this. But we can still tell stories. That's what seems to be happening right now. And, you know, I find that there's much part of the day now where there's a not knowing what to do. There's a relaxation, a relief, freedom, liberation to it. But I'll be honest with you, it's not an achievement, and I would say it's also a little bit disappointing. You know, I actually used to get quite excited or passionate about seeking, especially conspiracy theories, and, you know, wanting to know what this is. And I kind of miss that in a way. It might come back, don't know. Doubt it. There's nothing to find. But it feels like here that over the last sort of 30, 40 years, I've been plugged into this generator of seeking, and it does feel like the plug, I've been unplugged. All that energy has stopped, it's gone. It's like it's been switched off. But life continues, the body moves, breathing happens, my children appear, my wife appears, the work phone calls, the work success, the work failure, the highs and the lows, the polar opposites of life all still continue. They'll seem to flow by themselves, and but there's no one doing it. There is no doer. You know, if you, especially if you've been into spiritual seeking, how many times have you read that or heard that there is no doer? Yet you'll continue to be the doer until you're not the doer anymore. So there's a not not wanting this to be another way. It's okay with whatever's appearing, because it's this is all there is. There's nowhere else. And that's what I mean. It can be disappointing or devastating in a way, because, I mean, here, you know, I look back at the story again. It's a story appearing now in this. I used to be very driven, you know, sales driven at work, in my career, wanting material things, a new home, you know, a bigger house, or a better car, or better experiences. And there's nothing wrong or right with any of them things. It's just that that's what I mean, the plug, as I said, that it feels like the plug's been taken out, and that seeking energy, or I sometimes call it a seeking parasite, can die. but then it's realised it's never been there. But I think there's a relaxation in the body nervous system maybe, and there's less wanting this to be another way. Now what I've noticed, I mean, in my family setup, my wife, again, no judgment, my wife is completely identified with her me character. She pretty much rejects this message. She doesn't watch these videos. We don't really talk about this to each other, which is fine. You know, it's been seen here that it doesn't really work. Trying to communicate, if you've had a clear seeing of this, or not just experientially, even just on an intellectual level, if you're trying to explain this to someone who just rejects this message, they can't understand it, they won't even hear the message, it just doesn't work. So we don't really talk about this. You know, I keep this YouTube channel quiet, keep it away from her really. I mean, she can watch the videos, but you know, no problem, there's no issue with that. But it can cause a bit of a conflict in a marriage, which has happened here a little bit, because she obviously can see that there's a less of a drive here, and of course she, not that I'm judging her, but like the majority of people in this imagined world, it's all about what's next, more. But the thing is, it can just be seen that there is no end goal, there's nowhere to get to. Seeking never ends. It can't. That's what seeking is. It's seeking for something other than what is. It's the most tragic, it's just tragic, because I mean, there's nothing right or wrong with the seeking, you know, because it might eventually burn out, which you could say is an achievement, but it's not an achievement, because you're just left with what is anyway. It's only ever been what is. But the seeking here is exhausting, it's tiring, so much effort goes into it, and it doesn't get you anywhere, because there isn't anywhere to get to. That's why it's tragic. It's a joke. It's wholeness. It's this unknown existence. I don't know why it's doing it, but I'm going to say it's just playing. It's fucking playing with you. It's just, how can you find something other than what is already the case? There's no time. This is a timeless immediacy. It's done. It's done already. There's a lot of compassion here as well for people that are seeking. Obviously, I was a seeker for decades. I don't want to say I feel sorry or pity people that are seeking, but it's more of a compassion, because it's not their fault. It's not your fault. There is no you, there is no them. There's oneness, there's wholeness that's running the show. That's why I say there's no judgment here. And I try not to, you know, judging might happen. You know, there's no doer. But there's no intention, there's no intent to judge anyone here, because there's no one here. It's been seen, there's no one inside a body. The bodies are empty. And it's fascinating, you know. It's the end of self-consciousness, really. I was in the gym this morning. It was quite busy. I don't know, I'm guessing like 50, 60 people in there. And there's no one there. It's just bodies. There's no one looking out of them eyes. That's an imagined illusion. You actually can't mess this up because you're not doing any of it. There's freedom in that. I mean, it's not, it sounds like a get out of jail free card, but it is the end of shame, it's the end of guilt. Anything that you think you've ever done wrong in the past, you've not done that. And it's the same, I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about anyone who's ever done anything wrong to you. They've never done that. So there's a forgiveness and a compassion. I suppose that's why the message is painted with the saying unconditional love. If you are suffering with something, well, there is no suffering. This doesn't suffer. Suffering is a belief in time. It's a belief in a thought. This is a timeless immediacy. This is brand new. But there's no one that can choose to see through the illusion or the belief in the thoughts, or there's no one that can choose to stay stuck in the illusion. That's why it is a bit of a hopeless message. I mean, hope that's the same as seeking. If you hope this to be another way, or you're hoping for a change, you're just seeking for this to be another way. But there is no other way. This is the way, the only way. Yeah, I think I'll leave it there. But yeah, thank you for watching and being here, and subscribing to the channel and donating to the channel. It's much appreciated. And the kind comments and emails. I've had some really nice phone calls with people as well. I'm not here to give advice or teach. There's just a talking about what is, and but if I can help anyone, I would do that. But again, who is it that needs help? The me character is an illusion. There's only this that's appearing. But yeah, thank you for watching, and hope you have a nice day.